this is the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. That's his name. He decided to, really take a stand on Western hypocrisy when, people were critiquing the conditions at the World Cup in Qatar. Now, there is a case to be made, of course, that there are a lot of Western critics, white critics, people in the global north who are incredibly hypocritical critiquing Middle Eastern countries. I mean, we've talked about this all the time. The United States' entire posture on Iran is hilarious given our close relationship with Saudi Arabia. We talk about how Israel is a democracy here in this country when they have a apartheid system where Palestinians are second-class citizens and are unable to participate in the democratic process in many of the occupied parts of Palestine. And so, there's a lot of hypocrisy in the West when it comes to different countries in the Middle East. No shortage of material there. However, it rings a little bit hollow when the reason that you're even in this situation, FIFA and Gianni Infantino, is because of a corrupt deal that you put yourselves in because of payoffs, allegedly, and other kickbacks that were provided to executives in order to host a World Cup in this country that was built on migrant laborers who died in the process. So you don't really have a leg to stand on here. But he's going to try. Let's see if he pulls off this high wire act.
I have very strong feelings. I can tell you that. Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab.
You feel Arab?
Today I feel African.
Oh boy.
Today I feel gay.
Oh. Nice.
Today I feel disabled.
What?
Today I feel a migrant worker. I have very strong feelings.
Today you feel gay? Man, maybe you want to act on that, buddy. So that was full Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't realize Infantini. He must have commiserated with some of his Italian American brethren.
I know he's a Cuomo-sexual and a homosexual for the day.
Yeah, for the day at least. And he must have enrolled in the Andrew Cuomo School of Rhetoric. Really, really inspiring work there.
Today I am disabled.
It's like, well, you know what, buddy? A lot of those signifiers, they apply to people permanently.
Yeah,
and they have to deal with the ramifications of all of that while you sit up there in your suit and basically reap the benefits of blood money for a global soccer tournament.
Yeah.
So you really aren't disabled or gay
or a migrant worker.
Because you know what? Unlike some of these migrant workers who paid the ultimate price for building these fucking stadiums, they're dead and you're not.
It is just shocking that he even went to the gay part. That's when, of course, it descended into utter madness because homosexuality is illegal in Qatar. It's punishable by a few years in prison, I believe. Maybe not the time to be making that case. But these corporate executive types, they don't know anything other than indignance as a way to deflect. Either they lie or they're indignant. And he chose the indignant route. I think lying might have been a little bit better.
I also I get frustrated seeing people listen, as you said, you're correct. There is a level of hypocrisy when it's impossible to also ethically consume anything here.
Mm-hmm.
No question. But that shouldn't then flatten or dilute the extreme ethical problems that come with hosting this tournament in this country under these circumstances.
It's like
it doesn't
saying,
cancel one of them out. This is not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Just because America is shit doesn't mean this isn't shit also. A lot of things, there's a lot of shit to go around here.
Yeah, it's like saying, climate change is really a systemic problem, and then after you make that case, shooting like a rhino in the face. It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, well that doesn't like
Yeah, it's
excuse
also
your actions on this front. Like, okay, you made a larger critique about how we can't exist in a society without being a part of that society, right? Or you can't like critiquing society. We still have to be a part of that society, right?
like the idea. This
But
like,
you don't need to actively make it worse.
right, like this wild idea that like he's checkmating the United States and other countries because like we've also committed human rights atrocities. So does that negate the other human rights atrocities?
Yeah, like
Or
okay,
are those does that resurrect the migrant workers who died building these stadiums?
yeah.
I don't
Hey,
think
dude,
so.
dude. Like, if you wanna, we'll see this point. There's probably no country on Earth over the past 50 years that has been responsible for more deaths in the world than the United States. Okay, boom. That point is agreed on. What now? What now?
Yeah,
The
like,
point is that like that's nothing, that has nothing to do with what you have structured here.
what did you expect me to think after that you said that, Gianni? Oh my God, I'm a migrant worker too now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's like
I'm gay and disabled and a migrant worker and Qatari as well.
those are the magic words, and
Jeez.
and you are then like Freaky Friday
me.
into one of their situations. Yeah. Anyway, cringe.
Yeah, well, and then, but other than that, that's kind of like, other than other than that, Miss Lincoln, how was the play? Yeah, so U.S. is tied with Wales, 1-1 still as of now. England kicked the crap out of Iran, which was I'm not particularly surprised by severe talent disparity there. But it's early. There's still like it's still just the group stage. There's a lot more footy to be played, but at any rate, obviously it's one of those things like you can't. I have no qualms with anybody watching this because like we've said, like there's not a whole lot of ways to ethically consume literally anything, let alone national institutionally backed sporting events. And it's not as if any of the other ones before this have had any less of an ethical qualm as well. You know, they were bulldozing favelas in Brazil to make way for stadiums that they never use anymore. They were prosecuting and penalizing extrajudicially gay and queer people in Russia in the one before this. It happens everywhere. All of these events come with that fraught moral calculus of enjoying the event while knowing what it took to make it happen.
The Olympics are like this as well. I mean, the Olympics
100%.
should be in one location every year because when they aren't, it involves unethical labor practices like we discussed, the displacing of indigenous people, poor people in many of these countries to build these kinds of facilities. And a lot of it is just like an influx of international money with very little oversight and a government that is incredibly incentivized to make sure it happens at all costs, regardless of the human toll on people's population or on these countries' populations. So the World Cup and the Olympics should stay in one spot only. And
But then the geopolitical lottery the lottery wheel wouldn't continue to turn.
I know, and the executives at
the money
FIFA
grubbing and the smoke and mirrors that are and the cloak and dagger backroom dealings to get these events to bring in tourism revenue would stop.
Yeah, I mean,
fate worse than death.
Think about how these resources could go towards just like anything else, combating climate change,
housing people,
feeding people, right? It's clean
giving
water,
people medicine.
Yeah, it's
But nope.
This is our world.